Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to look at what happened yesterday before we proceed further. So about 20 minutes later, 25, 20, 24, 23 minutes, I guess, 20, 23, 24 minutes later, you can see that it has increased the capacity from 1 to 3. And after that, when it realized that the load has went down, after 23 minutes, right? So it has decided to shrink the capacity from 3 to 2 and then 2 to 1 eventually. In a course of 1 minute interval, it was reduced from 3 to 2 and 2 to 1. So I guess this 20 minutes, 23 minutes includes the time when we canceled the load on the system from performing. So that inclusive of that. So maybe I think roughly about 10 to 15 minutes that would have triggered the reduction of scaling in terms of the technical word scaling in, or reduction of the shrinking the capacity to the desired value of 1, because that's the minimum capacity which is required over here. That's the minimum capacity desired. So it goes back to the 1 state. Now, let's look at the other two different type. We won't be not configuring them. I mean, it's just like, it's almost similar to dynamic scaling policy. So if you understand how to do this, it's very easy to do predictive and scheduled action as well. Let's look at the predictive scaling policy. This is as similar as a dynamic scaling policy, but it has one neat feature. So this is called scale based on forecast. Now, what it will do is like it will look at the forecast of your application, the past increase in terms of your auto scaling mechanism, and then it basically predictively scales, will forecast capacity, and the scale will trigger based on the whatever it has previously experienced. So it uses that in terms of understanding that. So it will not be scaling action based on a prediction if it's turned off, but if you turn it on, the scaling will be, turned on a given time. So this will be using a predictive information which is forecasted in your past, and it will use that to do that. You can disable this and you can still go for the CPU target utilization. So it's the same as the previous one. So you will see the CPU, the network in, the network out, the load balancer. So these are 4 items which you saw already on dynamic. So it is simply the same, but there is one extra metric over here, custom metric. Now, custom metric can be, triggering a specific CloudWatch metric, or you can use the default ones which is out there. And then this is called load metrics and scaling metrics. So how you want to utilize the burst predictor of this. So average CPU, or is it like a total CPU? Likewise, you can use the custom metrics for it. So when you select CPU utilization, this is as equal as what we did on the dynamic scaling. And then here, one of the advantages, or one thing which separates from the dynamic, is basically like pre-launching instance. Now, this you can give a pre-launching instance capability where before it, as this is a prediction, right? So, or it is a forecast, right? So it basically looks at the forecast and then have this machines ready 5 minutes before any kind of a forecast is being triggered. So that will give you an edge from the dynamic, because dynamic has to get your service ready when it looks at a load on the, or a specific breach in your metrics. But here it will use the forecast to have this ready, the instance ready 5 minutes before, or whichever the timing you would give. But the maximum of 60 is what is specified over here. So you can have an instance ready before 60 minutes and have that buffered. So you can also enable buffer maximum capacity. So it will actually have maximum capacity of whatever you have mentioned on your auto scaling. So it will buffer till that. So this is one option over here. Another one is scheduled action. So scheduled action is basically you say that I need this capacity by this particular, every 30 minutes, every 1 day, or every day in a week, or every week in a month. So you specify what you want in terms of recurrence, and you say like every Friday I'm getting a huge sale, and I will say like, okay, I want every day, in which where you can specify the start day over here as Friday, and then you can set a end time over here on that. So every day it will recover on that specific day of a month or a week of a month. So this will means that every Friday here. So if you select here every Friday in a week, so I'm gonna get this one started from 00:00 from midnight of my Friday till the Saturday morning. So it's like 00:00 or 23:59. So this will say that from the Friday night, Friday midnight to Saturday midnight. So this will be basically a schedule which runs on a specific capacity. For example, currently it's just 1, 5, and 1, right? So you can say like for this timing I want 5, all 5 should be available, and by this time it will reduce and go back to the minimum one, which is 1. So that's what we are saying. So here you just give test and then create this. So this will be actually a schedule wherein which you can also have the dynamic scaling policy as well as schedule one as well. So what will happen is like if the dynamic scaling policy a maximum of 5 and you have scheduled this on that time frame, it will become 5. So this becomes inactive. So it becomes like something which cannot be satisfied because you already at the maximum at this point of time. But if you have configured a maximum of 10 instance and this one says 5 over here and this one says 10, by default it will be 10 because that's the maximum it is. But here you say only 5. So it will look at the load on these 5 systems and then basically increase it to 10. So it makes sense for having a dynamic policy as well as a schedule action saying that, in this days I want 5 as a maximum, and then this dynamic policy will keep tracking your CPU utilization. If it goes beyond that point, then it's going to spin up new instances till 10. So that makes sense if you have a 10 instance and you're going to configure 5 over here. So that also makes sense. So it's about the ratio or how the load is going to be, what is your situations and how much money you're willing to spend, your customers willing to spend. All those things depends on your auto scaling group. All right. Thank you again for watching this video. I hope that this helps you to understand auto scaling. Please do leave your review. Your review means everything to me. I'm just trying to work hard day and night to get you this kind of a hands-on oriented approach and tell you the real-time scenario, what we actually use on our company as well. Thank you again. I will see you on another video.